so much. This is great.
What, seeing me or the coffee?
All of it. It's always a pleasure seeing you, Molly. You're a bright Mill Valley light. I'm here with Molly
De Vries.
De Vries.
De Vries.
De Vries.
But I'm not saying it right because my husband is from Holland, so he says it with a...
Oh, yeah,
But
he
no.
doesn't use a French. You're giving it a French accent.
See, I don't even say his name right. Willem.
William. Get down on your knees, please. Oh, this
Stick
is
the
going to be
finger in the
another-
dike. That's a Dutch joke.
That was a very good one.
Shit. So,
Well, here's another one that we won't be able to use. Can we talk about the fact that we've done one already
Yes.
and it got 86th?
yes, we can totally be honest about that.
All right, because that's part of the whole thing is whoever's doing this has the right to say.
I know.
Do you feel empowered by that?
Yeah, totally.
Cool.
No, I really do, because usually I feel obligated, and I don't, like I told you, I didn't want to disappoint you or let you down. And so you kind of gave me the right away to say no.
All right.
And I felt really good about that.
Cool.
So.
So we have nothing to talk about.
Oh, good, we can do that one where we just sit there. That's my favorite one.
Okay.
There's so many subjects, though.
Anyone come to mind?
Oh, wow. You mean like the first thing that comes to mind?
Sure.
Thinking. Like what goes on in our brain. You know, living in where we live and having a whole bunch of stuff going on and, you know, making a choice of how we think. I'm kind of into that. Does
How
that-
do you think?
That's the problem. That's the problem. I don't know because I only have my brain. But by listening to others, I kind of think that I overthink.
They think I think I would.
And maybe I do the same tapes. Like I think the same things over without actually knowing it. And it's like, how do you get in there and control that? Change the way you think.
Right.
You know, make different patterns.
I think that's like one way
Exactly.
to
Yes.
become conscious of the process happening inside.
Exactly. That's what I'm kind of delving into a lot.
So how do feelings fit into that?
Exactly. I think. Well, maybe feelings maybe come from a over processed thinking or over too much thinking, whether it's negative. Like right now I have a little anxiety from this thing. Maybe because I thought about it in such a way before. But then there's other feelings that I don't think has a lot to do with thinking, and I think you can separate them and change your feeling by the way you're thinking. So does that make sense?
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
With what you just said? I think it's real. I think, like, let's say I'm feeling depressed right now.
Yeah.
And then I can look at what is the thoughts that I have.
Yeah.
That I am choosing depression, for lack of a better word. Like choosing some, sort of. But I believe...
Choosing to feel that way or choosing...
I think it is a choice. I think every moment is a choice.
What if you're chemically kind of depressed? It's more of a chemical thing in your body.
I think it's
Still a choice.
Right. I personally believe biology is a byproduct of the thought process.
Oh, wow. See, that's beyond my thinking. But I like it. And because part of my thing is my mom had some mental issues, and I see some similarities in myself. And so the question, is it coming, do I have that same thing chemically, or did I learn it from her? And either way, can I change it with the choices that I make? So,
All right, so this could be like a fire hose of information, because I have a lot of thoughts about clinical psychosis. And I think that we Western European and United States culture has labeled it as a disease, and it's been ostracized for a long time.
yeah.
And I think that there's other cultures where it's been recognized as an inner journey someone's taking, and if supported,
Yes.
they come out the other side as actually a great, they're like a medicine person. They're a key part to the whole of a healthy community.
Yeah.
And I was just talking with a gentleman last night, and I'm not going to remember. I think the gentleman I was talking with was Troy, but he was talking about this other gentleman during the Martin Luther King times, and he said, this guy's like way out there, kind of kooky. Long story short, it seems that I believe that our society is unhealthy. Our life is currently lived in an unhealthy manner, and life in a natural state is a joyful experience. So I think your mom possibly, her struggle was the disharmony within her of knowing a way of life that is true and natural and healthy, and living it in a way that is disharmonious, and the discordance of that within her was a depressing thing. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. I don't know if it's true or not, but I like where you're going with it. But I think you said something about, like, for me, I think having support is really key. And like you're saying, we're all healthy. Is that what you're saying? Kind of from the start, are we all, and then society, how we treat each other is like because what I see is like my mom she never even knew how to label whatever was going on. Like something very real for her, which she was acting out in a certain way that wasn't necessarily joyful or healthy. And then it's like she didn't ask for help, and she didn't get help, and probably the opposite that just triggered more of that. So I'm not sure if I'm going the same path as you, because you were kind of maybe a little bit more intellectual than I am.
Are we going to be okay talking about your mom? Is this?
Do you see how I'm using my words carefully?
No.
Well, just because, no, we are. We're fine. No, because I feel like, part of the thing that I know is just with like anything, if you're having trouble in something, right? Mm-hmm. Whether it's healthy or not, getting support, whether it's from your friends, your family, but if it's the opposite and you're getting teased or bullied or not heard, you're crazy, that shouldn't be happening and there's no solution, then it would just make you go more into that and out of fear. So
or depression.
Like, yeah,
it's
of course.
Hopeless.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. So I don't know about anyone else that has mental illness because I don't have that. I just know for me, I definitely have some issues that I notice that kind of stops me from being joyful and kind and supportive and all that stuff. And I know that the more I'm aware of it and conscious of it and find a solution in that, for that, the better off I'll be. So, yeah. You know. So I'm aware of, the whole thinking thing. And I'm trying to be more aware of, like, waking up in the morning. Like, I wake up in the morning negative thinking. I don't wake up opening the windows, to let the birds. No, it's like, leave me alone and let me kind of come to, let me kind of talk myself into this thing.
All right, so is that to be taken very literal?
No. Well, sort of.
Well, like you wake up and you're sorry that you woke up.
No, I'm not sorry that I woke up. I just wake up kind of I wake up in a bad mood with negative thoughts. Not negative like hurtful, but just not a positive outlook on the day. Not happy. I'm grumpy. I'm the grumpy mama in the bed, and...
One of my friends once told me about a year ago to do this practice and just see what happens. And the practice is to wake up and smile.
Love it.
And then you're literally waking up with a smile on your face.
Yes, exactly.
And see if that starts changing that energy. Mm-hmm. And I do believe there's an element of us as individuals that we have programming for, and what I believe is that we chose the programming, which could get real ethereal and crazy real quickly, but
I definitely have, yeah.
And therefore we can choose new programming.
Exactly. And I'm trying to do that right now. I'm trying to reprogram myself.
All right, so maybe try that, if you want.
Oh, I will.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So that's what I was talking about, discipline before with you.
Right.
Like that's the discipline.
Yes. A couple things. One, have you ever heard of now I'm going to get the...
I'm really bad with names, so don't do that a lot with me.
No, it's not a name. It's a practice, and it's called
Dynamics?
A mind group. It's a group of people that you meet with on a regular basis.
Oh my gosh.
It's a support thing. And,
really?
Yeah. And apparently, from what I understand, people like Thomas Jefferson and Rockefeller and
really
were part of
Wow, it's been down the down low. I haven't heard about it.
And so my brother and I and two other people have been meeting regularly every other week on the phone for a couple years now, at least.
What do you talk about?
Well, what I just told you about waking up with a smile on your face, that came out of that. And the reason I'm bringing it up is what I have found is discipline is a continual process.
Oh, good.
For me, that's my experience for me. My personal discipline is a continual process. And it helps to have people... In fact, what I do with my brother is we call it accountability.
Love it.
And so each week I choose a list of things I want to do or get done or act upon, and he will too, and I send him my list, he sends me his, and if we don't do it, we owe the other person $5 coffee card.
I like it.
So there's an accountability.
Very important.
Yeah.
I love that.
And now I have an accountability with this other friend from the group for exercise, where he and I
that's what I need to do.
We'll 4 times a week, at least 30 minutes, 40 minutes. 4 times a week, at least 40 minutes for the next 3 weeks. And for each week, our accountability is a $10 Whole Foods card.
So money, you're paying someone off.
That's our choice, what we've done, yeah.
Okay. But because it helps just a little bit of a treat, some sort of little treat, or
no. So
opposite.
it's an accountability.
Yeah.
If I don't do this, I owe you a $10 gift card at Whole Foods, and I don't really want to buy you a $10 gift card at Whole Foods. And I guess
you must enjoy it a little bit. Must be kind of nice to give somebody a $10.
Well, there have been times with my brother I'm like, oh, forget this, I'll just give you the $5. But then that wears on you. And then anyway, there's like...
No, I really love that accountability. I'm in AA, and so I get a lot of that support in AA, and they have a lot of tricks to the trade, you know?
Right.
And discipline is very important.
Well, I'm just wondering if with the smile on your face, because it's such an early morning thing, the wake up.
It's so hard to smile.
So how will you, how can you bring some discipline?
That's such an easy one, too. It's not because I have other things, I have like a list of things that I'm supposed to do. So I love that because, and I really believe that you're doing the physical action that actually changes something inside of you. That's what a smile is if it's not natural, it feels kind of awkward, but there's something about that brings that happiness to you. And I think I play the grumpy as a little bit of a resentment too, and so I really want to have that morning thing. So it'd be cool.
So wait, you just said I play the grumpy. What do you mean?
Well, what is that called when you kind of stew and you're mad about something and you kind of stew in it? That's what I'm doing a little bit with my morning routine, because my husband brings me coffee in the morning, and I think I'd be a much happier woman if I brought him coffee. Isn't that weird? I know what we were talking about on the other interview, which we won't mention. That's for late night.
So what about that? What do you change that role and say to your husband, hey, for the month of June,
or not even tell him, and just do it out of that would be the mind blower.
Then you guys will be racing for the kitchen. You cannot.
Yeah. So that would be cool.
Now, when you say that would be cool, I think there's an element of
not doing it.
Right.
I could be ready for that. No, it was just about me being ready. I do things kind of at my own pace, but with a little and so sometimes I'm not ready and sometimes I am, but I could be very ready for that.
Here's another question I have.
I love it.
And I think it's real, I find. We're comfortable in our comfort zone.
Exactly.
And to grow, we need to grow out of our comfort zone.
Oh, I like that. Did you make that up or did you learn that? That's really cool.
And so there is an element of we will not be comfortable.
Ready. And we won't be all the time ready either.
We will never be
comfortable. Yeah.
Because we want to be comfortable. But to grow, we need to choose to be uncomfortable.
Yeah, I think that's true. For sure. Yeah. But you also have to kind of respect your own pace to a certain degree. Not with the coffee thing, but with other things. You know what I mean?
I think you're justifying something. I'm not quite ready to be the one who takes out the garbage.
Okay, so for instance, I know exactly what I can do every single day to make me happy, but I don't do them.
Right.
And if I did them every day, why aren't I doing it? They're very simple. Very simple. But I can't seem to pull it off. Do I just force myself to pull it off? I really don't totally know discipline. It's just not a part of who I am. I've always been I do it because I feel like it, or I'm obsessed with an idea and I have to do it, or it's never been I'm doing this because I know the outcome is good for me. I've never really done that, and I haven't been able to do this discipline, the full-on thing, which is very simple to most people, I think.
I don't think it is. I think there's an element, because we've seen people who are too disciplined, and they're what we call A personalities and robots.
Yeah.
Right? There's no cracks to let the light in.
Yeah.
But then there's people who are too airy-fairy and nothing gets done. It's always in a dream state. Like, I want to...
But I'm in the middle already. Because I get stuff done, but it's when I feel like it. I don't like to clean the house when I'm supposed to. I have to do it when I feel like it.
Okay. You also, like, I was just at your house. You have a clean house.
That's what I mean. So it's not like I'm crazy,
But part of it, I think, is your definitions of a clean house. Like you were, when I was there, you're like, we're not going to show these two corners, right?
Yes.
But those two corners were fine.
God, you have to talk about my corners?
Yeah. Love your corners. Almost as much as your curves.
Wait, where is a corner? Oh, anyway. Oh, now I'm thinking about the corner.
Now you're turning mad. Molly's husband's got 80.
Oh, so what are we getting back? What are we doing here? So what do you think? Like, should we do a 2-part series?
Right. Here's
because you were saying before
element.
Discipline is
no,
the
here's
process.
what I was saying.
Okay.
Because you were saying how you think you're right in the middle.
Right.
So, in this conversation, for instance, there have been some, what do you call it when something, you say, like, that's blue, and then you say that's pink, and you know.
I go back and forth.
What is it when,
a
I forgot the word.
No,
not a hypocrite. It's like, well, here's my point.
God.
I forget the academia.
I do know what you mean.
You said, I am not disciplined. That's not a part of who I am. You've created a business. You've raised 2 children. You've kept a marriage for 15 plus years. You've created a home for your family. These are proofs of discipline.
There's not.
No, you can't do that without discipline. You can't have a business without discipline. And here's what I think, and this is like, you are not yet living the image of Molly who is disciplined.
That might be true. Or what about this? I'm living this life, and I might have comments from all over. Wow, I love your life. Even my best friend, I love your life. And I'm looking at her like, what the f- are you talking about? Jesus. And so I do have this wonderful life where I'm very spontaneous and very creative, and I have a loving family and all that stuff. But I almost can't go to the grocery store to buy groceries. Like, I have some issues. And it's all happened because I've done it. But it's kind of like the day before Halloween. Yeah, I make a really good costume, but I'd done it the night before. Do you know what I mean? And so a little bit of that is me in chaos, because I grew up in a lot of chaos. And so part of healing for me is being able to make a plan. Like, I've been notorious for why can't I make a plan with Molly? It's really hard for me. I mean, it's actually been pretty easy with you, because you're pretty strong on the other side. No, strong like, this is the date. Wow, you send me the calendar. I love that. I push the button. You know what I mean? Yes or no, and you're flexible. But some people, it might be a little airy-fairy, and yeah, I'll be there, and it's like, but I have a really hard time with all that stuff. So for me, I want that, or I think I want that day, and I think it'll bring me joy, because at dinner time, it's crazy times at my house, and I end up kind of like not doing what I wanted to do, or not eating as healthy, or not loving my family by cooking things that I want. You know what I'm saying? So I guess I just want a different kind of discipline than I'm used to, or...
But that's what I mean. Like, I hear you saying that you have this image of Molly at home cooking this wonderful dinner, and the family sits down and everyone's happy and the credits roll.
I don't need that all the time. I just would like to, because I know the difference between So I have some, I mean, they might even be conditions. I don't even know what they are. You know, I have this thing where I get so overwhelmed about going to the store and in here. Now, if I were to say, you know what, great, I can't do this anymore, I have to go over to the store because I want to go get dinner, walked over there, even on my smartphone, I could probably find a couple of simple recipes or just take one out, go to the market and go home and cook the dinner. But see, what I do is I do this, there's something in here that I procrastinate in such a way that it's almost paralyzing to me. That's what I'm telling you, which is a little bit weird sounding.
Now we're back to thought, which I love.
I know.
And I believe, like, I recognize what you're talking about in me. And
Do you?
Say it, because it sounds to me like there's an element of you want to think it through until it's perfect.
No, I don't.
No?
No, I don't. I just want to trust that it's a very simple thing to go to the market. I even do the things where I call up my daughter Annabelle and say, hey, will you meet me at the market? Because if I meet her, and that's why I love going to this one store in San Francisco, Rainbow, because it's usually done on a kind of a basis of we're going to a party, or we're going to go almost to a where you go like Disneyland adventure. It's almost like an adventure.
It's a treat.
Let's go. Yeah, it's a treat. So we'll go to Rainbow and we spend 2 hours there and we look around at the food and look at the ingredients and it's beautiful and we love the people and they have such amazing things. But I'm always with somebody. In my own brain by myself, it's hard for me to grab all of the things that I need.
All right.
See what I'm saying? So I have some issues that I don't know even how to talk about, but that's what I'm talking about, is just having that.
All right, so there's Mill Valley Market, just a block away
God,
from
I know.
you. And so you're like, even just saying it, you went, oh
my God.
So what comes to mind when you think, oh my God?
I've tried to figure it out, and all it's kind of like how they talk about fear. It's not really the fear of something, it's just the fear of the unknown. It's sort of like that. It's kind of in between the procrastination and some sort of fear of order or fear of, I don't even know. It sounds ridiculous now. It's hard to explain because it's like, I almost want to say people that are afraid to go on bridges, but they don't know why. It's a little bit like that, where I have a body feeling of like, right now I have it. It's just like in my throat and I don't know why. And maybe because of my family situation or what, I don't know. But I know it's as simple as not thinking about it and just going there and doing it. Even, I could go there and get some cucumbers and whatever, and it would be dinner. It's not about that. It's more I make it more complicated.
It is more complicated.
So I don't know.
It is. Like, that's just a fact right now.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
But it stops me from doing some things that not just in shopping, but other things too.
I've noticed for me that when I have a fear of something, or even if it's something I'm not clear I can really do it, a lot of times there's sort of an unconsciousness that comes with it, like I don't really even want to face it. Right. So I avert from it.
Right. See, for me, I feel like, because it's not just the market, it's other things, because the market happens every day. You have to think about what to have for dinner, like everybody does. But it's like this, I think it's about not self-worth, not confidence, but self-esteem, or like the worthiness of the caretaking of myself.
Yeah. I'm reading this book right now.
Yeah.
It's called, now I'm going to forget, but it's about chattel slavery in the United States and part of Europe, mostly in the United States, being traumatic. It's post-traumatic slavery syndrome, I think is the name of the book. And
What are you referring to? You mean people that have been enslaved in past generations, and then the people that are living now?
Yes. So
Yeah, totally.
So here's what's very interesting. She just said, making distinctions between self-confidence and self-esteem, and self-esteem being you know you are valuable to the community. You are valuable to life. Having that, and
Self-esteem.
Right. This, and I think that's been a struggle that I've had in my life to, and I almost even see I have a fear of becoming egotistical in self-esteem. If I say, okay, I'm valuable, then there's a part of me that's afraid, going, oh, really?
Oh, totally. And I think my work, what I do, I think it's my way of getting that.
Yeah.
And I don't totally know if it's healthy or if it's, for all the right reasons or whatever. What?
Yeah. It's funny, because Liz and I were just talking about this. I think it might have even been yesterday.
About me?
No, yeah. Fucking Molly, why did you just... No. No, about... I think I said something along the lines of, this is such a young person's game. Sometimes I just lose hope because of my age, and it's such a young person's game. And she said that, so part of what she thinks is it's money in the bank. Next time around, I'll have this in the bank at least. Maybe it's not going to be realized this lifetime, but money in the bank. And we both talked about how, okay, so if we stop, if you don't do it and you just give up, and it kind of being a trust and exploration of what the universe really is.
Yeah.
What is this thing called life, and really trusting and going, oh, look, I'm afraid of being without money. Why? Why is that? Oh, look, I'm afraid of going to the store. Oh, what's that about? What? And so this path, and if we just gave up on it,
I know.
then we'd come back next life and they'd be like, oh, you know what? It's harder this time.
No, and I believe in that too. And it's there might be many reasons why I do my work, or it's just hard to know. Like this thing is very real for me, this grocery store thing, which is kind of embarrassing because it's a hard one to explain to people. It kind of sounds like an excuse. Yeah, I just don't feel like it. And what am I trying to say? And I guess it's kind of like when we talk about the discipline. For instance, I get most of those little things that I'm supposed to be doing that I've written down, done. And there's one that I always kind of blow off, which is going on a walk. It's kind of I'm kind of lazy, really. And I guess for me is... God, when I do the things that are kind of on my plate, let's say you have a list of things to do that you kind of have told, you want to be accountable. So if you tell somebody that you're going to do something by Wednesday, you kind of want to do it, or, at least contact them. And so that's it. It's how do I get that? There's something very good feeling about getting that list done. And I know that we have that chance every day, but when you don't do that, and procrastination, what is that? There's a lot of that swarming around me, and of course I do what I do, the things that I have to do, but I fight with that a lot, And so I guess what I'm saying is this happiness thing, I don't know if it has to do with happiness, really. That's confusing. Oh God, now I'm totally confused. Oh shit! I think I'll start with a smile. No, see, it's how I just went down this little rabbit hole. It's oh God, we expect so much of ourselves.
maybe this is just like off the top of my head though. Maybe a smile is a tool. Like you go down the rabbit hole and you know it, and you just smile, and it might seem kind of psychotic at first.
What does your smile look like? Yeah, what does your smile look like when it's not real?
Right. You know. However, it's because I thought this the other night of dominoes and how the downward spiral. You know, like you start spiraling down, and it begets energy, right? And just seems to like energy clumps on it. I thought, you know what? The same thing's true for rising up. Like you just take a little step and energy comes to support that.
Well, but that's what I mean about thinking. So let's say I have a negative thought, like let's say you wake up and you go, fuck, I have that big thing today, like I'm meeting with Greg, you know, I have to do that in an interview.
The source of your pain.
No, but like, let's say, you know, we have like, some of us have, you know, one thing or 5 things or 3 things or whatever, and big or small, you know, you're thinking about. So I wake up and it's like, shit. And most of the time, see what happens is I have my full day. Now, I do know that, and I've learned this in, you know, Alcoholics Anonymous, is if I think of this as a big, like out there thing, I do a lot of twirling, right? But if I relax and take it easy, which is one of my favorite little key phrases, and you just do the next right thing, and most of the time in life you kind of know what the next right thing is, whether it's doing the dishes or hugging your wife or paying the PG&E, you kind of know what the next right thing is. And so that's what I've been playing with, is like staying positive, I believe, which happens to be your thought process. For me, it's like choosing, okay, I can look at the day and go, fuck, there's no way I can do it all. And then that stresses me out. Then I don't eat right. Then I never get to that point where I can actually go to the grocery store because I'm just crazed then. That's kind of my day. But if I do the first right thing, which is that discipline, whatever it might be, the smile or the walk or the prayer or whatever, meditate, then that gets me to the next right thing, like you were saying with dominoes. That can happen in a negative way, and it can happen in a positive way. That's what it's all about for me.
No,
Do you know what I mean?
I do.
So that's cool. Yeah. And this cool thing about, you know, thoughts and actions or whatever, is every moment you can change it too. So it's like if it's going really bad, which was happening this morning, I knew that I kind of wanted to be in a good mood for you, or at least neutral, and not like, you can change that too. So there's no like, you don't have to do this and then it works all day, and if you start out great. It's like all day long you have a moment, you have a chance to make that choice.
Yep.
Did we figure it all out?
We're done.
For me, it's a beautiful world. For you, it's a beautiful world. For you, it's a beautiful world. For you.